the very first episode of something really cool that we're doing. Welcome to the Spark Podcast by DDPY.
You know, I always used to say when it comes to like trying to inspire somebody, a lot of times it doesn't work, but there's that once in a while where you can get that little, if that spark hits, and then it turns into something that could be really amazing.
I'm Nadia. I'm going to be helping here guide you guys through the podcast. And we also have very special guests for this very first one, Steve and Diamond Dallas Page.
Hey guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited that we're doing this. I mean, we've tried different formats of podcasts, but I think that, being able to talk about the things that people struggle with and to highlight people, it'd be really, something great to hopefully be a spark for people who feel like they're stuck.
Yeah, and I think that's where Fabulous Friday came out of, just because there was so many great stories there that people were putting out raw that I didn't want people to miss it, so that's where I just started from that. And
I'm excited about this podcast because we're going to get to highlight a bunch of different stories. We're going to get to share a lot of insider scoop from us here in the company.
Not too much.
Not too much, but enough to kind of get you excited. So yeah, I'm excited to get to share all these stories and get you guys to connect with us a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that the idea is that we're going to try to have, we may not all be on the podcast every time. Dallas won't always be able to be on. I may not be on all the time, but a lot of times you'll be on and you'll have, Candy or Pat on from time to time too, right?
I'll have other people help me out. So
yeah.
Super excited about it.
Well, cool.
Well, why don't we jump in to our first little surprise. We got to chat with someone really special, and we're going to show you guys that with Chris.
I think we like to surprise people whenever we can with cool moments, right? And so, we look at a lot of things that happen in our community on Facebook and social media, and we find people that have really put in the work. And so we always want, Dallas sometimes just wants to call him right away.
And sometimes I can't help myself.
You're just
I do.
You're like, give me his number. And I'm like, well, let's try to orchestrate something cool because, sometimes we call these people and Dallas shows up and they don't know what to say because they're so much in shock, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we got really good reactions. And so, but it's really fun because these people have put in all this work and they've changed their life. And then they look at Dallas as someone who was instrumental in changing their life. And then it's cool to let them kind of tell their story to you, So.
And I think it's really cool seeing too, just Chris and his wife, who we coordinated for the surprise. I'm so excited. It's really awesome to see too the support system that he had. And I mean, you guys are gonna get to watch.
Yeah,
it,
well, the way this came about was that I saw a post from his wife. So she posted because she said, "My husband Chris doesn't see the difference in himself."
Whoa, yeah.
And so
you will.
So she was posting about him. So then, Pat reached out and she was like, "Oh my God, this is going to be unbelievable." Because surprising a lot of these people with getting to talk to Dallas is really awesome. So I think, sometimes you'll see a little shock, but I think it's always a cool moment. So,
yeah. Let's have you guys check it out.
Well, so what did you think when Pat proposed us doing a surprise call?
Oh my God. Chris is gonna shit himself. He's going to die. I don't think he sees what he's accomplished. So he doesn't think that, it's inspiring to anybody.
I mean, 300 pounds, are you crazy?
I know. It took having a doctor who showed that they cared about him as a person, because he had doctors come in while he was in the hospital and he said, "They're just treating me like a fat person. They just see my fat.
Yeah.
They don't see me and they don't care about me." And that I'm gonna cry. That broke my heart. Because he's an amazing person, but they'd come in and they'd automatically judge who he was based on his size.
Yeah, I'm excited to surprise him.
Do you know how hard it was to keep this a secret for somebody?
No, that's why I was like, all right, Pat, we got to execute this right.
He's going to expect me to be getting on a call because he thinks it's like a telehealth.
Yeah. All right, anything else? Any other questions?
I think so. I'm so excited. He is gonna die, because this truly has changed his life.
All right.
Whoa,
What's up?
man. I got to hear your story, man, because I just saw the before and after pictures, and I'm like, that's not the same guy.
Wow. I'm actually a little shocked. I didn't know that's what we were doing. Man, this is really awesome. I would say so. I know. I'm like shocked. I'm so sorry. So just about 2 years ago, I got in really bad shape. Almost died. It was a combination of things, but the weight was not one that didn't help. I was 600 and plus, probably around 640, 650, maybe. I mean, the first weight that we got on me was about 630, and that was after spending 11 days in the hospital.
Wow.
Had extremely bad pneumonia and bronchitis. I actually, when I got discharged, I was on oxygen. And a good friend of mine, he had actually done your program once, and he was like, you should try it. And I've seen it so many times. And I was like, this is really cool. Like, because I used to love watching you, in the wrestling. And so I was like, all right, this is going to be my start, especially was watching like all these bigger guys like myself being able to, accomplish great things.
Right.
And so I came home, and probably 2 days after being home, I subscribed, started with Chair Force, and just kept going through the program. Honestly, it's changed my life. Like right now I'm 291.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny. I love doing DDPY. I do it probably 4 to 5 days a week, whether it's just, a simple stretch or just
He did
workout.
3 sessions yesterday.
Yeah.
3.
I love it, man. Like you get it. And, it's more about the mindset than anything. And that's what helped you make that shift. And coming from one of your boys, again, it makes it, even cooler. So when I first saw, Steve sent me the pictures, like, he said, did you see him? I said, no, I saw pictures, but I didn't see him. I didn't realize that both were you.
I know, right?
What's the goal? Like, what's your finish line, bro?
Well, I mean, honestly, my goal has been ever changing. So when I first started, I was like, I think I'm going to get to 380. And then the closer I got to it, I was like, you know what? I could definitely do better. So I was like, I'll set the goal at 320. And then in my mind, I was like, you know what? 300. And once I even set the 300, I was like, I want to be under 3. Right now, 291. I'm really setting the goal at like 236. So a total loss of 400.
You would be the second guy to lose 400 plus pounds when you do it. Now, how long have you two guys been together?
2007. So it was college. So 18 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm probably smaller now than when we started dating.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm close. I was a high school athlete, wrestled, played football, played sports in college. And I was probably, when we met, right around the 300 mark. I work with people with disabilities, and some are bigger, and I try to explain, like, hey, there's things you can do. Like, and I show them pictures of myself, and they're like, oh, is that your wife? Because a lot of the pictures we have are just her and I together. I'm like, yeah. They're like, wow, she was with you when you were late? I said, yeah. I said, I got lucky. Like, she saw me at my worst and continued to believe that I was going to be better.
My brother Steve
I know
Hughes.
that Dallas has the mic. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Steve.
How are you?
I'm great.
I talked to Steve yesterday.
Really? It's such a shock. I don't know if she told you, but we definitely just binge. Well, I binge
I
watched.
told him. I said,
Change or
watch
Die.
it so quick.
And I was like, Kate, that's the one that did my shout out. Look, there's Steve.
Yeah. So I thought it was really interesting how that, obviously you were really sick, but what was it about that made you, that kind of flipped a switch for you?
I mean, it was a couple things. It was definitely, so there was 2 doctors that came in there, my pulmonologist and my cardiologist. They came in, and my pulmonologist was very honest with me. She looked at me, she's like, Bud, what are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're happy, you're smiling, but like, you realize that your body can't go on like this. And if you continue this path, you will die. And my cardiologist told me the same thing. And the other part was like, laying in that bed and just having people come visit me, I was like, I don't want this for myself. Like I want to be there. I want to join life again. I want to do something. It was definitely a shock. Just laying in the bed and even, watching people like come in and try to serve me. I was like, no, I can do it myself. Like I'll get up, I'll go to the bathroom, I'll put my tray over here. So it was just, I'd never been in that situation. And that's when I was like, I definitely don't want to be this. I can't be this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, for you, your story is so, like, we get very few people that lose as much weight as you did and really just did it with purely working out and diet or nutrition. And so, man.
And mindset is the most important thing. People always say, oh, it's all about the food. Like, no, it's not. It's all about this.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that, people look for people like you to prove in what's possible, right? Did you look for that as well when you started?
I did. I watched a lot of the 6-minute videos of like Art, and I can't forget the other couple bigger guys.
Vance and Jared, Justin. Yeah.
Yep. All of them. And I was like, man, if they can do that, like I can definitely do that. And especially like I said, I have an athlete's mindset, I think. And I'm like, I can get there. If they can do that, I can get there. And like there was one guy, I really wish I remembered his name. But I thought about him a lot because he had a boxer. I don't know if he still has a boxer dog.
Ken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and he was a big guy too. And it was funny because like a lot of the shirts he had on, I was like, oh, I have that shirt. And so like I thought about like my dogs, and like one of the things was like he talked about not being able to walk his dog, and like that was something I was like, I love my dog so much that I can't even go out and walk my dog or play out in the yard with her. And so I was like, all right, we can do that. We can get there.
That's awesome. So how long would you say your weight loss journey has been since the hospital until now?
A little bit over 18 months.
It'll be 2 years. He was in the hospital for Thanksgiving 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
wow.
November, 2 years exactly.
You got to put your story up there, brother. We'll do it for sure. But just the community. That's what's always made it so different than any other community. That the people really give a shit, and they really want to hear. They don't care how bad you were. They want to encourage, but you're already on the other side of that. So, your story would help a lot of people.
That's great. Well, we're super proud of you.
Keep up the great work, bro. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, that was awesome. I think it's really cool because whenever you see someone lose that much weight, you're like, wait, first of all, is that number right? And then you think, okay, did he have bariatric surgery or did he use weight loss drugs? And like those are, fine tools for people.
Yeah, some people
as long as they
those,
eat right and exercise. Right?
Yeah, you've got to, especially if you're going to do any kind of surgery on your core. The number one thing you need is this. That's why I'm so supportive of everybody and anybody who that becomes the thing that they need to get that shifter in your brain, because it's still going to come down to the story you tell yourself, because a lot of times a lot of people have failed with that surgery and then they did that for nothing. But the bottom line is, however you do it, I'm good with. Totally.
Now, in Chris's case, he didn't.
He didn't.
And so to me, it's always inspiring.
And not even the shot thing.
No peptides or anything.
And that's again, whatever works for you.
But I think that the key there is you look at a spectrum of all the people that succeed, and you say, wow, this guy lost over 300 pounds without anything else. Just DDP yoga and, clean eating.
Discipline.
Yeah.
We're disciplined and the right mindset and the right support system. His wife was a very huge part of that and loved them either way. And that's something that just shows you for her character, like, what a great person, everyone should be so lucky.
Yeah. I mean, it really shows too that no matter where you are, there's always a chance to change your life and transform.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that in a lot of cases, the people that, sometimes people are like, oh, I only lost 40 pounds. Sometimes 40 pounds can be life-changing for people.
1,000%.
But I think that, people like Chris show what's possible on this extreme side. Mm-hmm. So it says basically like, okay, how bad are you off really? Because if this guy can do it, then anybody can do it.
And that's how people dealt with the beginning of Arthur Borman.
Yep.
And anybody who sees that journey that he went on, man, it was
Because nobody's that far gone.
nobody. You know, and we both thought like, yeah, let's just give him a little shot and see if he's going to do it. And he started to, and then and it was so much farther than I ever dreamed.
What's cool for me is like, because I mean, I've been with you guys for 5 years, right? I've been here a good amount of time at this point. But I think it's so cool getting to see firsthand how the Arthur video, something that you guys did so long ago, is still touching people to this day. And
So
that's
powerful.
the number one thing that people tell me got them here. There's a couple of other people sprinkled in there, but it's really cool seeing the power of just a beautiful, well-told story. It doesn't matter when it was told. It's just touching so many people still, and it's getting them here. So it's just a crazy testament to the work that you guys did.
Yeah, and I think that for us, we've been through so many like really challenging scenarios that we've gotten through, and this is basically what we apply to fitness as well. Is that when you learn that you can figure anything out, then you can figure anything out.
Yeah.
Right, and so that's what
At least a
we've learned.
version of it.
Yeah.
At least a
But I
version
mean,
of
that's
it.
why, I think, we did Relentless, which is about how you never give up.
Speaking of never giving up, I think we can start talking about our friend Faron and kind of why we wanted to chat with him today.
Yeah, so, I think obviously the theme is, we see these people in our community, and sometimes they're in it for a long time, right? And they're still around, right? And I think in some ways it's because of how positive our community is in the social aspect, but there's this element of, I'm going to get it someday. I'm going to get my act together and do the program, and I'm going to get in great shape. So people they got this in their head that they have this aspiration to do it. And sometimes they try and then they stop for a while, and sometimes it's years.
Yeah,
right?
it could be years.
And so, we always see
scenario,
the
for sure.
potential in everybody in our community to all of a sudden, whether they've been in the community for 5+ years or they just came in, they could all of a sudden get it and then completely change their life in a short amount of time, right? And Faron's somebody who has been successful with DDP yoga before.
Unbelievably successful.
Yeah.
And he's been to summits.
Yeah, he's an OG. I mean, he goes back. He goes back.
And so, I think some people who've been in the community for a long time, they think that we forget about them, or they're like, oh, there's a new group of people. It's like, no, like we love the OGs to come back in.
Yeah.
But so, so Faron is somebody that, we saw really successful, and then we notice when people kind of fall off track, and we do try to check in a lot of times too.
I will.
We try to get you back in, but we don't badger you.
No, go do your thing.
It is what it is.
And that's why it's so cool when people come back, because let's see, what part of my life am I missing right now? Well, I remember when I was doing the program before in the community over there. Let me just go back and just check it, see what is it still there?
Right. Yeah, and I think that sometimes people are in it for so long, they forget about the magic that's in it, right? And Transformation University is really this new energy, and there is a lot of magic in there.
Right.
So, that's why we try to get so many people in the community. There's almost 80,000 people in there. It's it's a no-brainer. If you have the app, it's free to be in TU, and then it's just like in a more close-knit community that's driven on, okay, what are you accomplishing this week, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, the number one thing it was great having the contests we had for so long, but that's where TU was born out of, because none of us liked it, but me most of all. It killed me to tell someone, well, you just missed it, And at the end, there was 13 or 15 people that was flying in. It was just getting out of control that I couldn't.
Yeah,
this is the perfect scenario.
Yeah, good transition from
Yeah,
that into
thank
this.
you, transition.
We
That's
can
what I
help
was
a
looking
lot
for.
more people this way. I think that's been the biggest thing.
I think that for us, I think some people don't realize how excited we get to see people succeed.
Yeah.
And we try to highlight people as much as we can, right?
I do.
And, so that's the hard thing is sometimes people are like, these people don't pay attention to me. But it's we try our best to see everybody, you know? And so we saw Faron post something about how he's all in on TU, and, it's just exciting for us to see people get back on track.
Yeah, and we've said this before, and I'll probably say it a million times on here. When people ask me, but it's not just me, it's all three of us, why do we do it? It's because we're selfish. You know, we love seeing people's lives change, and it always keeps us a step ahead of ourselves. You know, so we're trying. You know, there's no one here who's not leading by example right here. You know, so that's all we can really say. And then after that, it's up to you.
Well, let's go ahead and chat with Faron.
I started the Transformation University officially like a week and a half ago, and I have known I needed to take the 6 picks that whole time, but I have had a hard time convincing myself to do it because there is a part of me that really hates what I let myself become. But finally something clicked inside of my head last night. It's something I heard and said a long time ago, but it went away. As I look at those pictures of that guy that is in a condition I wish I'd have never let myself get in, I love that guy. That's the guy that made the decision to get me in this program. And that's the guy that's making myself get down on the mat every day and do a little bit more and get a little bit stronger each day. And through every up and every down, every step forward and every small setback, that's the guy, that guy that's out of shape right now is the guy that made a decision to start moving forward and do something.
I think it's really a valuable kind of perspective on, a lot of people are in the community and they come and go, or they just kind of watch, and then something kind of gets them to re-engage. And so for me, I think it's really valuable to learn from you, Faron, like where you're at, maybe even where you were. And
yeah, I want to go back to that.
Yeah.
But the years have flown by, so.
I mean, when's the last time you were here, Faron? You've been to the PC before.
Yeah, I've been to the PC. I think the last time I was there was 2021, maybe.
Okay.
But when you first started, where were you at, and what year was that?
I started in 2014.
Okay.
And at that point, it wasn't so much a weight problem. I had a back injury, and had been to the doctor, didn't have insurance, and he told me there wasn't anything he could do for me. Suggested I look on YouTube and try to find some yoga videos. And that's where I found Arthur. Arthur led me to DDPY. When I started, my first daughter had just been born, and I couldn't pick her up off the floor. My wife would have to bring her to me. And within 4, 5, 6 months, I was without problem. At that time, now I had a lot less muscle, so I wasn't good body shape, but at that time I was carrying maybe 240, 245. I went full force into the body weight push-ups, the 3 count, 5 count, 10 count, and started doing the handstand push-ups that you were doing at that point in time, and added a lot of muscle and got down to about 225 pounds and was in great shape.
You held it for a while. You had a little up and down, but you held it for a while. Yeah. And then at some point you just fell off. What happened in your life around that time?
Yeah, there was a couple of things. First, when I started, I didn't have any children, or my daughter was a newborn. And then my children were born. They were getting older. I was getting involved in the things that they were doing. I started running one kid to one place and another kid to another. And
sure.
The time that I had in the exercise started I allowed the time to disappear. I didn't make the time to continue to take care of myself. And when it really fell off the rails, I was traveling out west, and I was coming up on Las Vegas and pulled off on the side of the road and had my buddy take a picture. I had him lay down on the ground, and I went about 3 or 4 feet up the side of the mountain there and had it look like I was climbing a mountain. And when I jumped off, it was like a shotgun went off. My ankle just snapped. In several different tendons were torn fairly severely. And it was misdiagnosed 3 different times before they finally got it to where it should have been. And by the time I was done, I had wore the boot for about 6 months. And walking on the orthotic boot had jarred my knee so much that I developed arthritis in the other knee. And then out of that arthritis, walking strange, I started getting arthritis in my hip, and mobility just went out the window, and I gave up.
So, like, as someone who kind of has been a big part of the DDP yoga community, like, did you find yourself knowing that was there, but you just didn't have the motivation? Like, what pulled you back in, would you say?
Well, I fell off just because I think Dallas talks about ego kills talent. And I think there was some of that because when I started gaining the weight and started losing the mobility, I was embarrassed that I wasn't the guy that I used to be. And so I kind of disappeared mainly because of that. But what drew me back in here recently is two different things. One, I stepped on a scale the other day, and from where I was at 225 in my best shape, 2 weeks ago, I stepped on the scale and I was 345. And I didn't think I'd ever get that close to 400. It just, I didn't know what to say or think or do coming off the scale. And behind that, really, Pat McDermott had never lost contact with me. We started around the same time, and he would check in on me every so often. How you doing? Why don't you come back, give this a shot? And it was kind of fortuitous, this Transformation University. When I decided to come back, and I sent a message to Dallas, and he told me, you need to get in Transformation University. So I joined up, and the same day I joined, they started this, or it was the last day to join this 30-day challenge, 30 days of consistency. Get down and do at least 20 minutes every day. And so I took that challenge on the first day and haven't missed a day yet.
Yeah, well, for us, we're always excited. I was super excited when you got involved because I'm like, yeah, where's Faron been? So to me, it's going to be cool to see you look at your journey kind of in a different way now. And, it'd be cool to see how you experience Transformation University for someone who's been around for a long time,
Absolutely. It's given me the opportunity for a fresh start. Even with the challenges when I came back, the Positively Unstoppable, which was a good thing. But every time I came back, I went back and looked at each year. I would sign up and I'd add on and I'd say, hey, I'm Faron. Back in 2014, I did this and I was here and I did that. I don't want any of that stuff. This is where I'm at. And I want to work my way to somewhere without spending a lot of time looking back and trying to validate myself for some reason instead of pushing towards where I want to be.
All right, Faron. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. We're looking forward to seeing everything you do. So keep on working hard.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, bro. Catch you later, buddy. It never ceases to amaze me the people who can get all the way to the top and then can fall all the way to the bottom again, and then they got to come back around. And those are the moments where it is 1,000% all the story you tell yourself. And I know I did it because I did it before. And those people, when they come back and they get to that next spot, what they didn't do, and it doesn't matter who it is, the reason why they fell is they didn't set that next goal. Mm-hmm. That next, and set some absurd goals, have a realistic one and one that's not realistic.
And I think it's kind of like addiction in some way. It's very common for addicts to relapse. But part of that process is learning what caused that. And so part of your fitness journey isn't you find success and you keep it forever. It's a lot of times is you find success and then you forget what got you there and then you fall off track and then you learn something from it and you get back on track. So that's how you get smarter and stronger as you go. That is part of Transformation University because a lot of times it's like, I screwed up. What's the use? I can't ever do it. But it's more like, okay, why did you fall off? What got you back on? Now it's all you got to do is focus on doing what you know how to do, right? We love to see when people get back on the horse. For me, it's like if you've been someone who's been successful before, sometimes doing it the second time is completely different. And so you have to forget about what you think you know, and you just got to get back on track. So hopefully Faron will show up at graduation, and everything will be
it'll be on
back
the way.
on track.
It'll be back, just be on the way, because he won't be where he wants to be at that point, but he'll be on the way, and that's the most important part.
Yeah,
Well,
so that was awesome.
Speaking of TU, obviously we've talked a lot about what TU is. It's a community you guys can join. Anyone that has the app has it for free. It's around a 5-month program that you can join. And Steve, Candy, myself, Pat, a lot of our people are in there helping you and guiding you. But I say this because we're starting the new semester soon. We're starting January 1st. So.
Yeah, I think that, everybody who's been in Transformation University kind of can feel a little bit different energy.
Yeah.
But I think it's something where the community sees it and they're like, is that for me? Do I need to commit? And really, to me, it's like I wouldn't think of it as, oh, I'm not ready for that, or I don't want to commit to it, because you don't have to fully commit. You can sign up for it, and almost like you audit the course before you decide to do it. So it's really, to me, it's like, it doesn't make sense to not do it if you want to be successful, right? Because all we do in there is give you tips on how to be more successful, right?
We have a professional dietitian. We have a lot of people talking about mental health. We have people talking about, how to actually do the workouts. We have Hayden in there. We have so many things.
Yeah, it's
for
basically like this, what we're doing right now on the Spark, but every week. So you get fed the positive influence of, our whole team and the people who are successful constantly. And that, is really powerful for people. And we've seen so many great successes, and we've only done it 2 semesters. Yeah, I think the cool thing about TU is that, we have a lot of people that are into you and learning, but we also have a lot of coaches in there, people who have been successful, a lot of champions from the PUC. But I think the great thing is we have a lot of fast track coaches in there that we have them do lectures, and then we try to educate people on how a fast track coach can actually help you a little bit more, right? So, and I think that, fast track is great for people who, really feel lost and aren't sure where to start. But I think we've even seen success from people who've been successful before, and they need to figure out how to get to the next level. Right? And so that's the cool thing to see, is how there's all these different coaches, so you can kind of pick who fits your personality the best, or who might push you more. And I think, so one of our champs, Wendy, right, she got Lucy, who's Hayden's wife, who's, turned into this incredible coach, fast track
but
coach.
she's also a good teacher, too.
Yeah, she's great.
And the changes I've seen in Wendy have been really dramatic.
It's been crazy.
All she needed to do was get back on track.
It was all about,
but it helps so much when you have someone to brainstorm it with. Sometimes
Yeah, but
you just need that.
now you see pictures of her and you're like, wow, she's really taking it to another level.
That extra accountability, sometimes we just need another person to just help us through it.
I always needed Jake and Dusty,
Yeah.
as mentors on things that I bounced off a lot of people, but those were my main staples.
Yeah, so let's see, it'd be good to get Wendy's perspective on why, okay, she was a Positively Unstoppable champion, and why she thought, okay, now I need to get a coach. Wendy,
Yes, sir.
how you doing?
I am awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
and
so
I appreciate this experience to talk about fast track coaching, because it's an amazing thing.
Well, first, Wendy, maybe talk about what year you were a Positively Unstoppable champion, and kind of that year's journey, and then maybe what led you to deciding, because a lot of times people become champions and they're like, oh, I got it. I know what to do, right? So what was it for you that kind of took you to that, okay, maybe I need a fast track coach?
Well, 2022, I was named a Positively Unstoppable Challenge champion, and it was amazing. And I was, for the whole next year, I was able to just kind of, maintain, but not really realizing what was next for me, because I didn't know. I was always either gaining weight or losing weight, or I was never in that maintenance mode. And so I knew what my purpose in life was. DDPY connected me back to that. my whole purpose was to serve others. And DDPY also gave me the freedom to pursue my passions, which was to become a martial artist. And so to do that past the half a century mark, I thought was enough. But then I realized quickly that in order to keep moving forward, you had to have new whys, and you had to have new self inspiration. Because for me, motivation comes from doing and inspiration from within. And so I allowed myself to say, oh, okay, I've reached this. So maybe now I don't have to do all the things I've been doing. So I let little things take me off course. If I was doing things successfully, such as tracking, and then all of a sudden I stopped tracking, and then the little things came up and started biting me. So what I realized through 2023 was I was still the captain of my vessel, and I was blessed with 5 great senses. But all of a sudden, I couldn't see what I was doing. I couldn't hear what I was saying. I couldn't feel what I was touching. I couldn't taste what I was feeding myself. And I darn sure couldn't smell because of all the BS I was around me. So I decided I needed a fresh pair of eyes. I needed a fresh set of senses. And that's when I started considering a fast track coach, because as soon as I let myself start drifting, I also became stagnant. And I couldn't understand that. I was like, okay, if I'm losing the wind in my sails, but yet I'm not completely anchored, what's happening? What's happening? And so I just knew that I needed to humble myself, right? And I needed a kick in the rear, and my ego needed to be brought down.
Yeah.
And so I said, there's this fast track program out there, and maybe that's what I need.
Yeah, that's really, it's really insightful for you to say, because I was going to say too, it does make, you have to check your ego, because especially being a champ from one of the past challenges, I think you make yourself believe, I know how to do all this, right? And so sometimes it is like, well, maybe I don't, right?
Right. Well, and that's what it is. I knew it all. I knew it all. And as a matter of fact, I was thinking, Lucy needs a challenge. I'm going to be her challenge, right? I'm going to help Lucy be a better fast track coach. That's where I was. And I really had to humble myself, because our very first meeting, I told her what I was not going to do. I said, I am not going to do fat burner and energy. I am beyond that. So what's the first thing she assigns? Fat burner energy.
That's awesome.
Fat burner energy.
Good job, Lucy.
And she brought me down to level. And I know I had goals, but I had this big picture. And she was able to help me break down smaller goals to achieve that bigger goal. But the very first thing was realizing, you know the app, but do you know yourself well enough and trust yourself well enough to get all of this done? And if you're working so hard at this and it's not serving you, maybe you need somebody else to help you do some legwork. And that's where it really came in. And to understand, hey, I can pick a program, but is that program really serving my ultimate goals?
Yeah.
Whereas working with her, I was able to, say, okay, for martial arts, I need more balance. Well, she's like, okay, well, stop doing shoulder burn today and start doing this stand up. And she was able to go in and program workouts to hit those goals. But the first thing she had to do was humble me.
That's really cool.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines is off my buddy's T-shirt: "Ego kills talent," and talent will fail every time people with work ethic stick the work in. So,
yeah, and I think that sometimes, like a ton of really successful people, they have coaches anyway.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're not your own best coach, right? You need somebody else to be like, well, are you kind of telling yourself the story that you shouldn't be telling yourself here? And, I think it just is another layer of accountability that sometimes you need, right?
Sometimes you need that special coaching. And I was really happy to hear that Lucy was doing so good, because I thought when she came here last time with Hayden, I thought her class was really good. She was so nervous, but she didn't show it. You couldn't tell. And so it's great to hear that she has really become an awesome coach. Between her and Hayden together, you know,
What
they
a good
live
combination,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody like Lucy, who's so tremendous, she's not judging you, she's not fussing you, she's giving you the kick that you need and guiding you. She's an extra. She's not trying to mutiny the ship. She's your first mate. She's helping you to keep your hands on the steering wheel a little bit. And she's navigating the waters with you. And when you're sitting there telling yourself, oh, I got to do 3 workouts today to make up for yesterday, she's like, no, love, just stretch. Go stretch and breathe.
I love that. Nola.
Well, I think that also she has an edge with her accent that she sounds more authoritative, you know?
Yeah, well done, Anne. That was really good today. Very impressed with your figure of 4. A lot of people struggle with that.
Like I think all of the voices that I use on my phone, like Siri, they all have British accents because they sound like they're more intelligent.
It's like how well she gets to know you and buddies up with you and holds you to the next level. Because if I tell her, you know, if you tell a fast track coach, this is what I want to do, well, guess what? They're going to hold you to it.
Right, right. Their job is to make you successful, right? So that's
Exactly.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, Wendy, we've been watching and we know you're putting the work in, so we're super proud of you, so keep it up.
Keep it up, girl. Keep it up. Lead by
Thank
example.
you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Pick up the
I'm
right hand,
41
Wendy.
pounds down.
Pick up the right hand. Pick up the right hand. And give yourself a self-high five.
That's right. Good job.
Awesome, Wendy. We'll see you later.
Thanks,
Thank
Wendy.
you.
We'll talk to you later. All right, cool. That's, you know, to me, it's always exciting to see even champs who were really successful. They kind of were going the wrong direction and they readjusted. They're back on track.
Yeah.
And Wendy is like, you know, every time I see an update from her, she looks better and better. So it's awesome. You know, so it's awesome to see fast track working together with everything else, right?
Don't we have a fast track sale here at
Yeah, I think
Yes.
our sales are coming up soon, and we'll probably talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, we're doing a discount on fast track coaching for people who've been on the fence about it. So so it's the best time to do it.
Yeah.
Also leading into the new year.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think we also wanted to go ahead and check out what the community was doing. We wanted to just see what everyone was up to.
yeah,
The
so
DUI group.
let's see what's going on in the
Okay,
community.
I'm gonna pop it up here.
This is kind of like a live Fab Friday, but it's not Friday.
Kind of,
but-
yeah. Okay, Transformation University. This is the fall semester. Let's see what we got going on here.
Adina juggling her pins.
That's hard.
5, 6.
That's great. Good job.
I don't think I'm any better. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
That's really good. Steve,
11.
she blows
No,
you
no.
away.
I know. I know.
Well, I got one that was like 30. Now it's starting to rain really hard because I'm in Seattle.
She brought her pins to Seattle.
I could seriously put on my
Yeah,
heart
you should put a heart monitor on when you're watching that.
It
Or
would
just
be a
doing it.
workout.
Great job.
Okay.
You win.
Woo!
That's awesome. Well, that's
Adina's
cool.
doing
And,
great.
you know, just as an aside for those people who don't understand what juggling has to do with DDP yoga, you got to watch Change or Die and
Yes.
see. It's basically, you know, it's really this good way to prove to yourself that you can learn to do almost anything if you're really consistent. All right. Well, so let's talk about what's new at DDP Yoga. What do we got? What is new this as we head into the holidays? Change or Die launched in October, right? You did a bunch of press for that. And what has been your experience on the response so far?
Really good. I mean, I was not shocked, but pleasantly
I
surprised.
think when you're so close to it, you're not sure how other people
Yeah, you
see
don't
it.
know. You don't know. And, you know, from everyone I talked to, and then, you know, I'll just get emails or texts from somebody, just saw it, pretty amazing, you know. Boy, what it's my
Crazy ending.
crazy
right?
ending. Let me look at
You
let
need
me
to watch
read.
it for the
This
ending.
guy is 72 years old and is really one of my business mentors. Great guy. His name is Scott Sloan. And anything that I've ever really done, we've done, you know, whether it's, you know, from the Arthur video to, you know, Shark Tank, I mean, you name it, Scott has always been there to give me his feelings, you know, on what we're doing. And, he said, sitting down, got a big cup of coffee, and have loaded down Tubi. Gonna watch first couple of episodes, have a bowl of fruit, and head to the gym. That's October 4th. October 6th, okay, I surrender. I'm adopting Taylor. I said, what episode are you on?
Obviously,
That's literally, well, I always ask too, what episode are you on?
He said 6. I said, awesome. Let me know when you finish it. The next day, on the 7th. So here's this 72-year-old businessman, or 70-year-old businessman, I can't remember exactly how old he is, but he's around my age now. And this is a sharp character. And he says to me, okay, I've finished the journey. My first point, now I need therapy. What a roller coaster ride. 12 on a scale of 10. 12 on a scale of 10. I haven't had much room in my life for hero worship, but you, sir, have carved out an everlasting space. Again, thank you for making me look better than I am, Mr. You.
Well, no, I think it's really cool. You know, obviously, filming it was a lot of work, but then we had to finish it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, probably the most grueling part was the subtitles and reviewing them and finding errors and having to re-review them. But, you know, the thing that's really exciting to see is that people will watch it who have been part of the community and saying, I watched it and now I signed up again. Because, you know, the objective is always, look, this isn't, we don't want people to feel like we're trying to jam DDP yoga down their throat, but it's really just about everything we've learned about what makes people successful. And the fact that it kind of translates for people like, hey, I need to do something with my life, I think that means that we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish.
And The Rock said it the best when he left that message on there. He goes, I really love what Steve said. He said, when you said the thing about Butterbean, like, oh my God, how are we going to help him?
Yeah, Dwayne and I talk about it all the time.
And he said, what if? But what if we can?
I just wanted to pause it and just fucking hit you up, man. And just tell you what great work you've been doing. But what if we can? I love that quote from your colleague, Steve. That's the life, that's the world we live in. But what if? What if we can?
I think for us, like that, it always represents like another risk that we take, hoping that it will turn into inspiring more people. So to see it come out and to see it impact a lot of people is very fulfilling, right?
Yeah.
How's it been for you, Nadia?
I think it's crazy. I don't know if this has been the same for you guys, but it's kind of crazy seeing all that we went through during that time. I kind of relived a lot of it, and that's been kind of a really trippy experience. But I think for me, it's been really cool to see something that we worked so hard on for so long come to life, and then people are now just enjoying it, and it's out there, and that's kind of crazy to me. You know, we worked on it so much.
Because of the internet, because of social media, because people keep talking about it, you never know. Like if this ever was to catch fire, it would change a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
And
I think so.
Possibly could. You know,
The cool thing is, look, this is something that wasn't a big studio. It was just our crew that works here every day.
Just us.
Right.
And so, you know, to me, it's always fun to see what we're capable of accomplishing, you know? And so that's cool. I think, you know, obviously everyone who's potentially listening to this podcast knows about it, but if you haven't seen it yet and you want to know how to see it, you know, go to Tubi. Or
which is free.
Yeah. Or if you have a Roku and you don't want to, if you just go on your Roku and you use your Roku lot, just search for Change or Die. In the main search, it'll show you, it'll pull up Tubi and it'll pull up maybe Fossum. So, you know, you can watch it on multiple platforms. So.
Well, I love seeing people react, especially to the final episode. So if you're gonna watch it and haven't seen it, just put your camera up. Just record yourself.
Yeah, and I think
it's fun.
It also is helpful if you guys watch and you like it to share it, give us a review on IMDb, because that's probably the most legit kind of review site for that.
But keep it about Change or Die. Don't just talk about how much you love DDPY.
Yeah,
we love that. But
I think you keep in mind that when you review it, like you can tell where it's like this person is a DDP yoga diehard.
Yeah.
And it kind of like makes the review less like, okay, this person obviously loves everything that we do.
Yeah.
So just review it as a show.
Yeah.
And don't need to talk about DDP yoga so much. Because quite honestly, we tried our best to make DDP yoga not even be this thing where they could say, oh, it's just one big infomercial, right? Because it's very subtle, I think, right?
I think so.
You know, and you had to get them to work out. But so the stuff that we did get, you know, you could see the pain on Butterbean's face. I mean, you could see the you know, when Mark is falling, you know, it's like whoa, like he didn't want to fall like that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's showing people at their best and at their worst.
And I do think, from a perspective of watching everyone's journey that was on the show, but also the perspective of us making the show, it just reminds us that, look, if you just keep going and you're consistent, you'll get to where you want to get to, right? And that was the same for getting the show done.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So check it out if you haven't checked it out.
And please share it. Send it to your friends. See what they think.
And we also have a really cool app thing that
Oh
we
yeah,
can
so
talk about.
here's the thing is we're probably not going to talk too much about it this episode, but we have been working on an app redesign, which, look, we built our app in what, 2016? So it's kind of a miracle that we got so many people still using it, right?
Yeah.
Because you look at it and you're like, I think at the time we're like, okay, let's design it landscape, and then now everybody's on portrait. So it's like, okay, we're just trying to find the best timing to when can we spend the time to kind of revise the interface. And so that's something that's coming in 2026, early in 2026, hopefully. And so it's something to look forward to. Obviously, the objective is to improve the usability and kind of update it to be, you know, not 9 years old.
Right. Because anything in that world that didn't happen today is already too old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just trying to get ahead of that curve and, you know, be there for a few years. Because a lot of apps, from what I understand, because I've checked this out, like 3 or 4 years is before it's time.
Yeah.
And, you know, ours was so elaborate, we lasted longer, but it's time to make a change.
We just got to refresh it. And I think that's exciting. It's something that we'll probably highlight in one of the next couple episodes when Candy can come on, because Candy does a lot of work managing the content in the app, so we'll talk about that. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Transformation University is wrapping up, right?
Yep.
So it's really exciting for us to see people who are submitting, they did all the work, and then they're excited about coming to graduation, which is probably going to be sometime in January. Yeah. And that was great. First graduation was awesome, right?
Yeah.
So,
great.
like to me, it's like if you want an opportunity to come here and meet Dallas and meet our team and meet other people in the community, the best way to do it is to get into TU and put the work in, because, you know, some people said one of the highlights of their life, I think it's because of all of the people that have gone through this journey together, coming together to meet each other. It's really powerful. So
yeah, because we meet so many people online, you know, through whether it's the main Facebook page or TU, you know, you meet so many of them. Now you can put a name with a face, and you know, and it's not like you're getting picked to come here.
Right.
You can put the work in, you can come.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's what I love about TU is the fact that, you know, we get to reward people's hard work. And it's going to be a really awesome weekend. It's 3 days with workouts, workshops, graduation, where, you know, you get to get your diploma and shake Dallas's hand, and we do photo shoots. We do so much fun stuff. So I'm really excited for this next graduation coming up in January.
Yeah.
The spring semester starts January 1st. So we're going to have all the stuff ready to sign up starting December. That way we can start getting you into the group. We won't open up the group officially until like a week or two before we start January. But other than that, I'm excited to see all you there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I think we'll talk more about it in the next episode.
Yeah.
Because that'll be getting close to getting people signed up. But the last thing I think we're going to about to have a big sale. So our Black Friday sale has always been our biggest sale. We used to go crazy and make these elaborate movies. To me, I'm just like, do we really need to make a movie every Black Friday? Because it's like very stressful.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
what was your favorite one, you think?
It's a Wonderful Life, bro.
You know, I never got to be a part of those. I got here right, I think, when you did the
No,
Undercover
you were a
Boss.
part of the Crazy Eddie one that we did where Larry got hit with the tomato.
I was throwing stuff. I was doing
Those
that.
are always
Right.
fun because basically it's the opportunity for everyone in the company to throw stuff at you.
Yeah.
Or Larry. You can look at all these awesome videos on YouTube. It's nice to just kind of go down memory lane.
Well, so during the holidays,
Yeah.
we'll re-release all of our old crazy holiday videos, and really to promote. It used to be just DVDs, but now we got the app. So the app is usually 30% off, and the DVDs are 30% off. So obviously, it's the best time to.
It's the only time we do that.
Yeah.
It's the only time we do that.
And so it's also great because you can, a lot of people have changed their lives from people who've been given DDP Yoga as a gift. So you can also do gift certificates or gift subscriptions, right?
I know we have up to 20% off on all gear and
apparel.
Yeah. So that's really awesome. You get to kind of stock up for the year there too.
Yeah, so it's always exciting. It's kind of like our Prime Day type of thing.
And we also have new mats. We have different sizes now, which is really nice too. So,
Look, this is Nathan. Here's the button.
Touch it.
All right, push it. You got to push it up, hold up to your thing, your microphone.
Microphone.
To your
here,
mic.
right?
Not too close.
Got it.
If you find yourself angry, overwhelmed, or anxious today, take a deep breath with me right now.
Oh my God.
I'll do it again.
Yeah, so
Got a
look
lot
at that.
Brilliant.
Look,
Brilliant.
you just put this on your desk at work. I know that your brother keeps it in his car
He does.
for some weird reason. He just wants to listen to Dallas.
I love it.
If he hasn't been around me long enough, he'll just
Obstacles and setbacks.
Oh, that same one.
Negativity is a waste of time and energy. So let it go and focus on the effing positive.
Oh, it was censored.
I censored myself.
Oh.
That's
So,
for little kids who can push it.
PG-13, PG version of the button.
Yeah.
So I think there's like 18 different sayings. So look, you have a motivational saying for,
It's a great stocking stuffer.
Yeah, so to me that's the most exciting new product of 2025, right?
Yes.
I mean, wouldn't you say?
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, we're excited for all the stuff we have going on. Also, for next episode, I'm going to give y'all homework. We're going to try something new next episode. We're going to have your questions in the next episode. So we're going to set up a phone line. I'm going to magically put it somewhere here or somewhere over there. You guys can call and leave us a voice message, and then we can play it and answer your questions, react. It'll be super fun. And also, we're probably going to do a social media post where you guys can ask us questions. Keep it DDPY related, Maybe I won't be able to answer your WCW burning questions, but I can help you with DDPY. So I think that'll be fun for next episode.
Do you think Nadia could answer any WCW questions?
No, I can't
Like a
answer
single
any of
one?
them.
No.
I can answer whatever
How
story
many
you
times have I
said.
won the world title?
Twice?
Oh my gosh! What?
Angry, overwhelmed, or anxious today, take a deep breath.
We need the Larry button. We need the Larry.
Well, here's the thing, guys.
It's 3.
I'll do it again.
Good guess.
I know it seems like this has some type of AI and it knew what to say, but it just always seems like it knows what to say.
So yeah, I can't answer those questions. Don't
But
send those questions.
that was a softball. So I think this was a good first episode of The Spark.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what's next.
I'm excited too. I'm excited to see. Tune in next month where we will have another episode for you guys. For now, any closing parting words, guys?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays for sure, and Merry Fitmas, and have a happy new year.
Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Is that for sale?
Pro
Wrestling Tees. Okay.
Yep, Pro Wrestling Tees has this shirt.
Yeah, but forget about Pro Wrestling Tees. Come to DDP.
Well, you could have just made it and put it up there.
You're right.
You're right. Maybe
Who
we
made
will.
this design? What's his name? Ryan from Australia.
Yeah.
All right.
There's two of them.
Get 20% off.
And Swole.
All right.
Yeah. Well, maybe we might have those new shirts coming up. So, anyways.
Yeah, get it over there.
Thank you guys for joining
It'll
us,
be a
and
better
we'll see you
t-shirt.
the next one.
All right, guys.
Bye.